Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Four Times Dope podcast. We want to welcome all our loyal listeners, and depending on where you may be in the world, we want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am one of your hosts, Kisharo, and I am joined by my homies, my brothers, Jamie, Jermaine, and Kwame. What's going on, fellas? How y'all
What's
doing?
happening, listeners?
What's going on, people?
What's
How
up?
y'all doing?
Good, y'all good?
Yeah,
I am.
Good,
I'm
man.
very good, as a matter of fact.
You look good too, my brother. I must say.
Thank you. I'm dashing with this 4 times dope hoodie.
yeah.
That joint
Love
is
it.
That's available now, by the way.
It is on
Love it.
shops2c.com. Yeah, just look up there. You see a couple models, and it's ready to purchase.
Yes. Fine models, by the way. But,
Fine. Great photo shoot. We got to pay those guys.
I'm ready for my residuals. Before we get started, I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever hated something or someone or disliked, hate's a strong word, or disliked something or someone, and then for whatever reason, you end up actually liking or loving that thing? And so,
that's my ex.
think about that. Think about that before you answer, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's been so much going on in the world right now, and I noticed it just hit me. I've been knew this, but it just hit me like recently. I used to, I don't want to say hate, but I had a strong dislike for Wendy Williams. Like, I hated her with a passion.
Okay.
And for the last 12 years, I must say, I really enjoyed that show. Let me tell you why. Because no matter what I'm going through, I could be having a bad day at work. It could be something going on at home. I know when I was in grad school, like, that was just like my escape. But I actually find her entertaining. She makes me laugh sometimes. Do I agree with everything she says? No. Is she crazy? Yeah.
Yep.
But I just find peace. And from that 45 minutes that she's on, whatever's going on in my life I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even think about what's going on. And I was just like, I cannot believe I really like this chick, because I really could not stand her at one point. I couldn't stand to hear her voice. I could not stand to see her. But I just find that peace when I watch her show. And also, since I was a kid, I also always been into like pop culture and celebrity news, so I get that too. Like
what's going on in today's news kind of thing.
Yeah, so I always been into that. So she was my person that I loathe, but now I actually like a lot. So what about you, Quan?
That's a tough question, because I definitely wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that.
I'm still not ready. I still don't have an answer.
Yeah, I'm like thinking like hard, because that's something like, I don't really know off the top of my head. I can tell you I'm not a fan of Wendy Williams, though. I think she's despicable. But that just my...
Keep it 100.
Well,
Keep it 100.
That was about me.
Well, I know. I'm just throwing it in there since we talking, since you brought her up. You know, I mean, I think she's an awful person. But the only oh yeah, the only thing.
Wig line or something?
I don't know what she got on, man.
I bet you do got a wig line.
She got a couple of things.
She needs to sit down somewhere. But I wouldn't say that off the top of my head, 'cause like I said, I'm not really prepared for this question, but
that's the point.
I didn't
True.
I'm gonna say I didn't hate him though, but I didn't really like care for Joe Budden. You know what I'm saying? Like, some years got, probably the same way, because I thought he kind of like just disparaged people and stuff and just kind of talk down on people. But I think the more I listen to him, he still do it, I think, but it's not in the manner that I thought it is. So I don't know if he toned down as he got older. I think, but also I like the fact when he's wrong, he'll come back and admit that he's wrong, or he kind of like spoke out of turn and everything else. So I like a person that can actually admit that maybe they misspoke, or they, may have had a wrong impression. It can be about music, it could be about a person, whatever and stuff. He'll come back and he's like, I have to walk this back, and I send my shouts out to that. But I find him very entertaining. It's actually one of my favorite podcasts. I think him and his crew, they have a very good chemistry. They all have their own lane, and they work together, even though he's the name and the star. The other guys like Maul and Rory and Parks, they do a great job in their lane, and and they check each other on the show, and they're funny and entertaining. So I don't say like I hated him, because I didn't hate him, but I just didn't really care one way or the other. So that's all I got for
you.
You
Were indifferent.
Indifferent.
Like him. You were
that's the word.
indifferent. And then you became a fan. Like, okay, I'm gonna start listening to what he got to say.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. That's what it is.
That's good. Same thing. Jermaine.
So, and Kwame, I feel you on that, because it only takes in that situation, it only takes one incident for the person to kind of like do something that aligns with your personality, and you're like, okay, let me give this person a chance, type thing, right? So I did it. All right, for me, this is 2020, right? So I think you guys know I'm a severe hip hop head, like
severe dog.
Severe, like I know like the roots of rap. Anyway, but I hated this music, yo. Like whatever genre this rap is from, I'm gonna say from 2000, probably like 2005, 2006. But the shift away from lyricism,
That's a shiny suit rap. That's Puff Daddy rap.
Yeah,
I think it's after that though, man.
Even now, I guess the trap, like I listen. If it wasn't like lyricism, I hated it. So, but I've grown to appreciate, not only we have a bunch of these African American men able to feed their families, but the new, right? I've grown to accept the new, whatever that new is. I don't have to buy it, but I know it's new and it's part of our culture. And it's invented by us. So I've embraced the new. I probably would never buy anybody's album. Keep it real. No hate on anybody who's listening or whatever. If you're a rapper, you see this. No. But I just can't buy into non-lyrical content. I'm all about lyrics, because when you turn the beat off, you got to reach me. Maybe that's the writer in me. I don't know. I'm a wordsmith.
It is.
I'm a wordsmith. So but again, I've learned to be cordial with the intentions of the music, if that makes sense.
The intentions of the
music. You know what? I think the era that you're talking about, to me, it seemed like it changed like around like 2005, 7, 10, when it kind of got to the point when there was all the auto tunes and all that stuff. And then
that was the clap rap, the snap rap.
Yeah, well, kind of around that. To me, that was like the beginning of it, though.
Right.
And then eventually, it kind of like morphosized to what it is now. To
Laffy Taffy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about stuff
now. It's mumbling.
Yeah, like when you came in here, it just off the beat, and it's all sound kind of the same. But I can appreciate it too. Like I said, people talked about the hip hop we like growing up. You know what I mean, as well. And I guess if you want to call that evolving. Then I guess it evolved to that. But it's also a lot of lyrical rappers. They don't get the love as they should though. That's now compared to
they're being drowned out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Substance. I mean, in terms of music too, I need substance as well. If you've been eating healthy all your life, and then somebody try to feed you some shit or some fast food or some now and laters for breakfast, you can be like, man, I ain't eating that shit.
Right. You have standards. Your standards are high.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so you basically saying you didn't really care for the new age rap? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. Okay. I hated it.
Got it.
Listen.
There was Jermaine. There's a skit on Stakes is High, De La Soul, and it comes on with a country guy in the background. Oh, I hate rap.
Yeah,
I hate rap.
You're right.
You know. He said, what you hate about it? It's just, niggers talking.
But look, I'm going to say this.
Fuck you.
I will say this. You're right. Hey, yo, this is part of the I've never had a problem doing this, but, yo, I ride in my vehicles, like, with the radio off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't listen to I started
you don't listen to anything? You got, like, Spotify?
No. I'm saying, if it's not what I want to hear, I don't listen to it. Like I just can't. I used to couldn't just die. I didn't want. I would get pissed off because they're playing this music.
It's trash.
Nigga be mad.
I was mad, yeah. But I've learned to embrace the intentions. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've changed.
The intents to
I've
get
gotten
money.
better.
See, it makes sense now. When I got in the car with you, I don't hear anything. So
This nigga ain't got nothing.
and we're talking.
Nigga hear the wind, the wind blowing through the window.
Thought about it. All right, okay, cool.
But you know what also changed before Jamie goes is the fact that how music is played and listened to. And I think like now it's so much content that comes out now. It's hard for me to even gravitate to something where when we were in the 90s or even early 2000s or even the 80s, whatever the period was, you listen to a song or you listen to an album for like a season. Like you listen to like an Outkast album for like 3 months and you digest it and you get to know it. Now it'd be something new every Friday come out here, and then you might actually like something, but then it's like, oh, I like this song, but you don't ever get back to it because there'd be so much new music.
You already left it.
And it sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I could find some stuff though, but like you have to search. I don't listen to the radio.
Well, that's I don't listen to the radio.
Right, you don't need to listen to the radio nowadays.
Not at all.
All right, Mr. Stedman, what about you?
All right, y'all. The thing that I used to hate and I love now is a man named Ric Flair.
You didn't like Ric Flair?
Nope. Nah, as a kid, I liked Dusty Rhodes. Fuck Ric Flair.
Even Dusty Rhodes? Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. No. So you got to understand there's the NWA, then there's the WWF. Hulk Hogan, we never had that down in Red Springs. We had NWA wrestling 11:30 on Saturday night.
Okay.
What we had was, Mid-Atlantic wrestling.
Gotcha.
And I hated Ric Flair because he was so flashy, but, Dusty Rhodes was the son of a plumber. So he just, he appeared to be every man. But once I got older, I was like, oh, he was actually speaking my language, limousine riding, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing. And he having a hard time holding these alligators down. That Rolex that he had.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one Jermaine got. And that's the one I want. Why? Because Ric Flair had it on. I hated him. My God. Once I became a man, I was like, oh, that man was speaking my language. I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, he was before ahead of his time, man.
He was way
ahead of his time.
He probably was hanging with Rick James for a minute too.
He probably showed Rick James how to do this thing.
For real.
So for him
with the Four Horsemen?
He was the king of the Four Horsemen. He was the man. Because they had moving parts, but he was the mainstay. There was no Four Horsemen without Ric Flair.
That's true.
I mean, I can go on and on about wrestling, and what it did for me is like, of course, created confidence that I had no reason having, because, what the fuck is wrestling? It's just men's jumping each other in tights. It's like, what the fuck? But it worked for kids. It made perfect sense to me. However, I did not like Ric Flair. Did not have a reason to like him. They did a great job of making him
the main reason why you didn't like Ric Flair?
The main reason because I thought he was too flashy and why he kept getting away. Because he would, if you looked at it, was a wonderful storyteller. He would wrestle for 60 minutes. He would wrestle for 1 hour and he would make the crowd feel like he was beat. And then suddenly he'd get your ass in that figure four and you done tapped out. You never saw it coming.
That's true.
And he kept getting away with it. He kept he randomly got, beat, or they gave someone else the belt like Dusty Rhodes or Magnum TA, somebody like that. Point is, he kept getting away with it. And it's like, how does he keep getting away with it? I don't like him.
Hey, Jamie, guess what though?
That's life.
You guys remember on 15501 across the street from where South Square used to be?
Yeah.
Precision Tune. And there was a Gold's Gym back there.
Talk about it.
Ric Flair actually owned that. When we got to Central, he used to own that gym.
Oh, okay. I didn't
know that.
No,
I believe it because he's from Charlotte. I mean, his base was in Charlotte, so why wouldn't he have a string of gyms?
Look at you know your history.
No, Ric Flair.
I see.
That makes too much sense.
Very much. That shit. Okay, so we got Ric Flair, Joe Budden, trap, old school hip hop, and Wendy Williams. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, so our first topic, y'all, kind of stems from some of the stuff we touched on last week. You know, last week I shared some very personal details, and we didn't go into it too much, but it kind of ties into it, which is mental health and being able to recognize um, mental health symptoms or indicators or just something that might not be quite right, but we need to pay attention to. And I'll say that because when I was telling y'all, you know, I went to therapy at Lincoln, something that was brought to my attention from the therapist was that I suffer from PTSD. And that was from PTSD of that, you know, situation, like me not want to be touched, not want to have people in my personal space, all of that. So there are different levels to mental health and mental health issues. One of the things I learned when I was in grad school that was kind of alarming to me is that 44 million people suffer with mental health, and those numbers are going up. But again, there are different
especially now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with the pandemic going on, us having to move differently now with life, with these masks and how many people we can be around. You know, the kids. You know, I think the kids really going to be suffering really with being homeschooled, not having that socialization. You know, things of that nature. It's just a lot going. This election that we just went through that we feel like we're still going through because some people just don't want to let go. But that's another
go to
conversation.
jail, my G.
That's another conversation.
Going to jail. You owe people money.
And he said, y'all gonna have to come get me out this house. I ain't leaving.
I'm not leaving if I'm here. What I gotta leave for?
But also, I think everybody suffers from something. Like even if it's something small, we all have some type of mental health issue going on. But there's different levels to it, and not to mention it's over. What I can't remember the exact number, but it's over 200 classified diagnoses of mental illness. So my question is, why do you guys think it is important to recognize mental health symptoms or behaviors, and what are your thoughts about it, Jermaine?
Oh man. I'm I'm gonna start with a somewhat of a personal story. I was actually going out with this young lady. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was going out with this young lady, man, and I you know, initially people do a really good job of suppressing personal issues. And you know, about 8 months, man, like I had absolutely no idea, but I just knew something wasn't right, right? Mood swings and stuff like that. And you know, there's one thing, and and this doesn't apply to all women. And you know, for the ladies listening, women listening, I'm not saying every woman has a bad attitude, but when you've experienced women with kind of like mood swing, you know, mild mood swings and stuff like that, you can decipher between normalcy and something that's just not right. And
Right. Right.
I'm not, I mean, fellas, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling y'all, I had never in my life experienced anything like this. So I didn't have any roadmaps. I didn't know what red flags to look for.
Right.
But as time went on, man, it's just, you know, just like trying to hold a banana boat underwater. You can only do it for so long and it's going to pop up.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And I started seeing some major emotional and mental instabilities and impediments. And um,
Was it more than one? Let
it
me
was
ask.
more than one. It was
Okay,
more
because
than
that's before you continue. That's why I want to make it clear. You know, for people who may not know, anybody suffering from a mental health issue, it's like it's a chemical imbalance. That kind of a chemical imbalance in the brain that affects the way you think, your emotions, and your behaviors. And sometimes it's several things. It's not just one thing. So you don't want to. We don't want to get people confused, thinking, oh, I got this one symptom, I might have a mental illness. No, that's not the case. It's several things you see over time
That's right.
that you want to pay attention to.
That's
So
right.
go
I'm
ahead,
glad,
Jermaine.
I'm glad you clarified that too. But long story short, um, you know, as time went on and we hit certain benchmarks, I started replaying in my head initial conversations, and I remember her saying, because at the time both her parents had passed on, And just going back to one of the conversations, I actually think the young lady and her mom really didn't have a really good relationship, right?
And
And
then the mom died.
yeah, it's right. And they never squashed that whatever that
Got it.
beef was. But I think it was really bad, and it actually, I think it actually birthed narcissism. Because
Okay.
I started doing my research on it and stuff. But mood swings like this, man, and never happy and just depressed and couldn't. The main thing was, fellas, she could not sleep well at all. She couldn't
Wow.
sleep. You understand what I'm saying? So, but here's to answer your question. It's important because for me, I believe that whether it's a social relationship, intimate relationship, family relationship, there are a lot of lives at stake when it comes to mental and emotional illness. And what I mean by that is if 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 you're involved with someone, you're dealing with someone in this type, and they're experiencing these types of issues,
Mm-hmm.
it can plague you and it can wear you down as well.
Certainly.
Um,
You become a
and
victim.
weigh heavy on you, and it can affect you as well. Um, and I think here's the thing, though. It's very important to try to point these things out because actually, you want to help the person get help, but they can't be in denial about where they are mentally and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
But also, B, it gives you a chance to say, okay, this is not what I need in my life right now. And um, I want to help this person get help, but also too, I know where I am in my life. I need to kind of remove myself from this particular type of situation.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if it's not if it goes unnoticed, um, we all know that the further along you go, the more destructive the thought pattern gets.
Yep.
Suicide, you want to hurt people, you want to hurt yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and I think being open and honest about it and not being in denial is a big part
That's
of.
the first big step, right?
That's right, Jay. That's the first big step. But I think it's extremely important because um, it will affect a person's work.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of work, in terms of mental illness, unemployment, being unemployed, if I just checked, that's one of the leading factors in um, the magnification of mental illness. So
Mm-hmm.
you got all these factors going on, and then you have a person who feels as if they can't be helped, right? So it's
Yeah.
definitely important. It's definitely important to point that out or to highlight that and try to help someone get help and get past the denial stage because
Mm-hmm.
you'll hurt everything in your path like a tornado, man. You will take everything out in your path. So
And yourself.
That's true.
definitely.
That's true. And it's so prevalent in our communities too. Like
Certainly.
mental illness is
We just
very,
call him
very
crazy. He's
But
just
deep.
crazy.
also too,
Yeah.
Gustavo,
Yeah.
not to cut you off, also too,
Mm,
what's also prevalent in our community is that seeking help is shunned upon. Black,
Yeah. Especially
we,
for black men.
yeah, for black men, no one wants to go seek therapy when actually everyone. I think I mentioned this in the last. I might have mentioned it last time. I think all of us need some type of therapy. We've
Yeah.
experienced our trauma on our own paths, but I think we all need it, but it's shunned upon. And I think it needs to be given a better light. It needs to be
Proper
yeah, we
given.
need to
context,
find a
better
way to
like
normalize it.
funding,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it needs to be
Yeah.
normalized.
definitely.
Exactly. Well,
Good.
Kwame, what you think about that? What's your thoughts on mental health and mental illness?
I think it's a big array of big. It's expansive. So mental illness can be many things. I think like people have the ordinary, I guess, more common mental illness. Then you got people who are more severe. So it's a large scale, and I say when it comes to mental illness, like I said, there are different things such as mood disorders, anxiety disorders, trauma related disorders, and impulse control disorders. And those things, those things can actually, it breaks down to even like smaller subcategories as well. So I think that it's recognizing it, like Jermaine has said, and trying to identify what's going on and getting the help that you need. And like I said, I think everybody has some type of, even if things seem going to be going pretty well for you. I don't think there's nothing wrong with just getting counseling and kind of doing a mental health check-in, just like you do a annual physical. You know, like yo, if you're doing good, you know what I mean, and you know everything's checked, all the boxes checking out all right, that's cool too. If you need you know help in a certain area, or it might be something that you might not even be aware of because you're going through it, then you know it might be some you know help to cope with certain things. And I think the other thing is the stigma needs to change, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't want to get help. And if you could talk, I could talk to those people who's not educated on it, period. And you know, so they'll use phrases about somebody, oh, that crazy guy right there, or you know, that boy, he ain't right in the head, and you know, whatever. And it comes,
that
it's almost like generational, because you hear some like grandparents or great aunt or great uncle say it, and you saying it, and, you know, so you're saying it because you think it's normal, and it's like, yo, we're not taught to recognize that, one, you put a negative context behind that situation. Therefore, it makes people kind of ashamed to get the actual help they may need. And I think people just generally get educated, you know, on it as well. Then I said, then you have the more severe cases where it's been a shift. It's been a shift in the past, like the last like 30 years. So back in the day, if somebody had like some kind of severe mental illness, they'll push you into some kind of like facility, like an institution like Dorothy Dix in North Carolina, or like a St. Elizabeth up here in DC, and these places all across the country.
Hospital.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So all over this country, this was how they dealt with that situation. And then kind of, I guess you have like these top, you know, therapists or people, power to be. They changed the shift from like, okay, we put people in these institutions, and they necessarily don't need to be in these institutions. They can be part of the community. So now they're trying to make things more community-based, where a person can go ahead and get outpatient treatment, you know, to your local, you know, local clinic or whatever that may be in your town and city. And then, like I say, it might be the counseling, it might be a little bit of medication, it might, you know, doing those things. And when you get like a balance of this stuff, you can be functional. I mean, in the day, you might have a boss or a supervisor or a co-worker or a relative that might be suffering due to some type of mental illness, and you may not even know, because they might be actually dealing with it. They might not be telling you, but they might be dealing with it to the way where they're getting the right treatments and they are able to manage what's going on. But if they wasn't managing it, then you may see some of the things. For example, what Jermaine may have described in one situation, you might see stuff like that because some people might be in denial, don't even recognize it. So I think it's more about us educating people in general. I think when it comes to Black men, when it comes to anything health, whether it's like a regular doctor appointment to mental health, some reason we you know, a lot of times we just don't want to do it. And I think it might be a sign of you thinking you're weak for actually getting help or something wrong with you. But necessarily you might be strong, because then you're knowing yourself and you're, you know, like I said earlier, being able to cope, you know, whatever situation you're going through. So, yeah.
Well, one of the things you said that's important that I want people to try to remember, like you were saying, even if things are going okay, there's nothing wrong with doing a check-in on yourself. It's kind of like running your car. If you want to keep your car going, you got to get a tune-up sometimes. You want to keep it going. So same thing with yourself, your relationships. It's okay to go and do a check-in just to make sure everything is good. So always keep that in mind. So Jamie, what you think? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's who we are and where we are in society. So we are the children of boomers. So boomers were taught by their generation, you know, stay strong, don't show your weaknesses. And they of course taught it to us, right? So here's a perfect example. My uncle, he's the youngest of 7. My Uncle Ronnie. My Uncle Ronnie was dating a young lady named Joyce. That was his lady for years. As you know, when I was a kid, all I knew was that my uncle Ronnie was dating his lady Joyce, and they lived in Durham. And they broke up. I had to be at least 13 or so. And my Uncle Ronnie, to this day, has not been the same. As of late, he's turned into a hoarder. So, from a small town, Red Springs, North Carolina. So, next to my mother's house is our family's other house. And we put him in there. And if you go to my mama's house and you see next door, it's nothing but car parts, bicycle parts, anything you could think of is on that front porch and inside that house. It's because he became a hoarder. Why? Because he lost something and he could never admit it out loud. We all knew what it was, but none of us could tell him, and he couldn't say it back to us. Well, I need to get help because I lost this. I mean, his life was completely, the trajectory of his life just changed.
Because of the girlfriend.
He just broke up. Right. And she was a lovely lady. I don't know what happened, but she decided otherwise, and he moved back home to Red Springs, and he had just never been the same. He turned into an alcoholic and a drug addict, and it's because of heartbreak. It's simple as that. But what are the words for? I think he's now 60, if not 59. What are the words? Because he's lost 30 good years of his life. Hey man, you just lost your girlfriend. It's easy for us to say because we now. Our generation is last analog, first digital. So we receive things early and we can adapt quickly. So getting help for us is not a big deal because we get stuff and we receive it and we can do it. In his case, it's like that's the last thing he would do. But he'll go to jail now. I go to jail.
You just won't get no help, huh? That's it.
No mental help now. He'll go to jail in Robinson County. You think they got mental help? A mental health official for him to say that he had a broken heart or he has a broken heart. And I imagine by the time if you ask him now, he'd say, I forgot all about it. But the point is, that was what we saw him as an upstanding tax-paying citizen of Durham, North Carolina. And now he is a vagrant in Red Springs, North Carolina. All because of a broken heart. It's not the end of the world, but for his life, it suddenly changed. I mean, it was just like, I knew him as my Uncle Ronnie. And now he's just like, all right, we got to go get Ronnie. Where Ronnie at? We got to go get Ronnie out of jail. It's a simple thing now. It's like, okay, nothing phases us, but he's still living now. I give him that.
So his form of coping was hoarding drugs and alcohol.
It's now turned over. He just started hoarding.
That's the new thing.
2 years ago. That's a new thing, but his coping mechanism was alcohol, then drugs, and now it's hoarding. Because I was talking to my LB Phil today. He was like, oh yeah, because he doesn't want to let go of anything. So a lot of people end up in these places like hoarding because they don't want to let go, whether it be a death or a loss of a relationship. And in this particular case, I mean, it had to be that.
So it sounds like he equated the loss, the emotional loss, as a physical death.
Certainly, because she was his everything. I give him that because she was always there.
Did he ever have? Did he have outlets outside of her? Could you remember?
I was too young. I doubt that he had outlets outside of her. He wasn't educated. He wasn't college educated or anything. I imagine he moved up to Durham to be with my other uncle. And, I have two uncles up here. And he was up here with those two. I mean, he had his own thing going, but, I moved to Durham because my uncle was up here. I went to Central because my uncle went to Central. You go with your family.
Yeah.
Correct.
I guess he just got caught out there. I don't know what the answer is. Could have been alcohol. Could have been just a regular breakup, but he just didn't take it well.
Yeah.
And there's no not coping, but there's no in Red Springs and or Lumberton, North Carolina, will there be a place for a black man in his 50s to say, hey, y'all, I had a broken heart at 30. Help me out.
And that's the thing, though. That's the other problem you just touched on Jamie, is the fact that you name it, Red Springs is a place that might not have the appropriate appropriate resources in that community. So it's probably a lot of communities in this country.
We're not the only ones now.
Yeah, that does not have these places. And then
I can tell you, just if we look at that election map, all those red counties.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
There you go. You go from the state of North Carolina, or if you want to go on a more macro level, you probably look at some of those, some of these states. So you're looking at places like Mississippi got worse than health care and all this other stuff.
And if you ask them if they have any outlets, they don't.
But they want to secede the U.S. because Biden won. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so, okay, go to Mexico.
Yeah, but you're supposed to build a wall, right? All this funding from the federal government, so you sound stupid. So it's just like, you're the worst in everything in Mississippi. So why are you trying to secede the country? But the point I was about to say is about the resources. Is it also goes down to the police not being trained. So when people are saying stuff about defunding the police, I don't think nobody actually said there's no need for no police. I don't think nobody's.
That's not the point.
The point is the fact
proper use of resources.
It's proper training, and like you said, we got a situation like a mental health issue. Then you have specialists that comes in here, it goes in the community like a crisis hotline, and they'll go there and deal with a mental health situation. Who's properly trained and educated on those things. You put a police officer who doesn't know the difference or don't care to know the difference.
He don't care.
And their reaction is
I need my adrenaline rush.
It's excessive force. You know what I'm saying? In order to do those things. So it's just like, we have to recognize that these are the things that needs to be fixed in this community. And like I said, there have local numbers. You probably have to look them up. But like I said,
I have some I was going to give at the end of the show.
But I know one of the national ones is like 1-800-273-TALK. And that's the crisis hotline for people who's going through mental health stuff. And like I said, Kashar will probably go through some more detailed
at the end of the show.
At the end of the show. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen. Great discussion so far. I want to segue into a topic. I think I have a segue here, Jermaine.
No doubt.
Talking about losing your lady. Here's the question for you guys. Can you accept a woman's past reputation? Can you handle a friend/associate dating your ex? All right, Kasharo, what you got? Can you accept a woman's past reputation?
I can't. No.
She's a thought bot.
I cannot.
Better not marry that girl.
Yeah, I'd rather not. No,
you'd rather not. Can you handle a friend associate dating your ex?
Definitely not. That's just cold. Like, you can't do that. Like,
unspoken code.
Absolutely not. And if I had a friend who would do that, then we're not friends.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be after that. Believe that.
We won't be after that.
Trust that. No, it's interesting you say that, because I was talking to another friend one time before, and I was telling him, like, there are certain friends, because I call them friends, that I have that I would not leave my woman around, because I just know how they get down.
That nigga ain't shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't. Yeah, it's just certain dudes I'm not gonna leave my wife around. But he said to me, "Well, how can you call those people your friends?" I was like, "They are my friends, but I know them. It's just certain things you know. We all got friends. You all got things about people that you know, and you move with people accordingly. You know. Yeah. So it's just something I wouldn't do. So to answer that question, no, I would not be cool with any of my friends dating my wife or going after my wife.
And her past reputation. So she dated, let's say, she was free. She was Amber Rose and you're Kanye. Can you take her? Because she was a stripper. She was a sex worker.
No, I could not.
No, just no.
I couldn't handle it. I could have a good time with her, but
you can't mentally accept the fact. I couldn't
be with her. No, because in the back of my mind, I always be thinking, like, what you doing when I ain't around? You know what I mean? I just couldn't. Now, granted, you can have a thought box and it could still happen, but just going into it knowing, no, I can't handle it. Sorry.
Okay. Jermaine, can you accept a woman's past reputation?
Oh, man. You know what? Um, damn. I'm just okay. So it's a couple. Well, it's a
This the
couple of
slowest
different.
no I ever heard.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because in the back of my mind,
No, you said
yeah,
no.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. If the reputation is one of those where she got ran through in college by the whole football team or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
she was a jump off in the dorm, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, nah, because I think there's an unwritten man law. You can't. You just gotta. You.
You scared to say it? I'll say it. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Jump offs for everybody.
That
That's what
that's
you're thinking.
hey, that's the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. I just think
Mm.
you can't change that situation. I honestly would prefer not to know. Don't tell me, right? You know,
Don't ask, don't tell.
don't ask, don't tell. And we can have those conversations, grown up conversations like, oh, okay, you ever had a threesome? You ever had this? You ever had that? Oh, okay. But like, yeah, I got banged out consistently. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up, Dan. Hold up. So, are you saying you okay? A threesome? Is it you know a girl? She told you she had a threesome once, never happened again.
Whoa, whoa,
You
whoa,
could you
whoa.
could deal with that versus
Listen,
fucking the thought
I'm
about
good
it.
with that.
listen, guys. We have to be clear on definitions. A threesome
Okay.
is two girls and one guy. A
Yeah, not a
train is
train.
two
Yeah,
two
not a
boys and one
train.
girl.
Okay.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Be clear. So
Okay.
you're talking about a
uh,
train.
train.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Yes.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
yeah, she had a train around her once, never happened again. Could you handle that?
You know what? I can stomach that. I can
Mm-hmm.
stomach that. I can stomach that. Because at the end of the day, I think she probably, for whatever reason, she did it. Maybe it was a relationship she was in, or it was
Mm-hmm.
to live on the edge. I get that. But
Okay.
if you did that 2 3 times a year and you want to be open about that, man, I got
Right.
a problem.
Right. You got to
That's
deal with
funny.
it.
Because here's the thing.
Can you handle a friend dating your ex?
Um, I'm gonna say yeah. Wait, let me finish.
Let him finish.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Keep
There's
going.
some there's some few moving parts. All right. First of all, it can't be any of you guys on the screen right here. That's
That's fair.
Okay.
okay.
Makes sense.
Second of all, if it were like a few years after, and I've moved on, I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
problem with it because I think at the end, I think with that situation, if I'm not with her, I'm trying to get as far as away from her as possible anyway, right? And it doesn't have to be bad blood, but I
Mm-hmm.
think if it's like a distant friend, I'm cool with that. Do you maybe to work, and also if some time has elapsed, I'm cool with it. You know what I
Right. You
mean?
got to let it go,
Yeah,
huh?
just let the situation go. But if it's like somebody where I'm in y'all lives and I gotta come, Jamie, I gotta come to like a
A
function.
function.
You know what I'm saying? You having this and see, I'm like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool.
So long as it's not in your circle, you okay.
Right.
As long as it's not in my circle, I'm good. And I keep my circle small, so I ain't gotta really worry about that. So,
Okay, that's
and
fair.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good with that. Yeah.
All right, Kwame. Can you accept a woman's past reputation?
Um, well, let me start here. I think that um, everybody got a pass, you know what I'm saying? And it's no perfect person.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody says a perfect person, then please show me that person. But so I'm pretty sure we all have done things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think women have a double standard. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
It's
So it's a
definitely
little
double
different.
standard.
It's just different when it comes to a woman having, I guess, a bad reputation versus a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to answer the question, I just think it depends on what it is.
Okay, what the reputation was in regard to.
Yeah, because I already know. If you know what I'm saying, by the time I'm dating you at this point, I know you had past relationships or past even
Right.
casual sexual encounters. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you have to face the reality, and most time that might be the case. I mean, unless you just got somebody who happened
That's
to
right.
be a virgin or only been
And
one
you don't
person.
want no damn virgin.
Yeah, that's a whole set of
Legend,
different
yo.
issues. That's a whole different set of issues right there that you may be dealing with right there too. So I can't go in expectation like, oh, they only been at 1 or 2 people. Now I don't want to know any exact numbers, and
Right.
I don't want to know any details and stuff like that. I think when I was,
I ain't pledging no virgin.
I think when I was, yeah, I think when I was probably a little bit younger adult, whatever, I asked questions I probably didn't really want, didn't want to know until the fragile ego get broken, and then you realize like, yo, man, I shouldn't ask those questions anymore. And I kind of moved away from that.
So you saying you used to ask those questions?
I might ask like questions, yeah, it's just crazy questions like, am I the best and all that stuff. And you can answer
not that question. Like,
no, I'm talking about all of it. Yeah, I was naming them. Like, how many people you've been with. Like I asked those questions as a young 20-something years old, trying to gauge it. But then as older I got, I'm like, it doesn't matter that much. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Granted, like I don't want to be with somebody who got the reputation of being through everybody, like what Jermaine has said. Mm-hmm. But I've been in a situation where, going back to the lady I dated, as far as the meat man and the oil man, I remember
anybody can get it.
Yeah, I remember going to like the Eagle Aggie Classic, and for people who's unfamiliar, that used to be like a Labor Day football classic. They used to take place. Raleigh. Yeah, it was in Raleigh, and so and this young lady, she went to A&T. So I've been to the situation where you're kind of like, intermingling and stuff, and then the guy come and give him the hug, and then the dude looking at you like nigga, if only you knew, type of stuff, and I'm feeling it, you know what I'm saying? But so that's an uncomfortable situation.
Plays the fool.
There you go. So I've been in that situation before and I also been the other side where, you've been with somebody, and like, dang, I don't know if that dude knows. So you know the look when somebody already been like
you giving it, you know it.
Yeah, they like blink 2 times or something. You have to roll. You know what I mean? So that, what I'm saying, like everybody has been through it. But the other thing I wanted to bring up with y'all too is, are you familiar with a person named Marcy Scott?
Is that a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
No.
Is he trans?
No, it's a woman.
Okay, just checking because you're trying to trick.
Oh no, I'm trying to trick you. Marcy Scott. What about Kitten? The name Kitten. That rings a bell.
Is this from Pussy Valley?
Nah, not for P Valley.
Trick me, man.
Not for P Valley.
He ain't down at the paint. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I do not know that person.
All right, so if I show you the picture, should ring a bell?
It's kind of
I can't really
bright.
see.
Can't see it.
I can't see it. That
maybe hold back.
Too much shine on that screen.
Too much light on it. Yeah.
All right, so for you trying to see, so Marcy Scott was better known. She was a former porn star named Kitten. Mm-hmm. So basically, that was her reputation, I guess, maybe like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Got it.
She is trying her best to distance herself from her past life. You know what I mean? Like she's now she's now like a health coach, nutritionist, weight loss coach, online fitness trainer, everything. So
her name was Kitten.
She was Kitten. You Google her.
Let me ask you this: did she have a tattoo on her arm? It was a snake.
There you go. That's her.
Nigga, I know Kitten.
Yeah. That Kitten.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kitten.
So I guess she got the business.
Changed her life, huh?
She tried to change. Well, she changed her life. She did change her life, and so she must have been out the game for about like a good 10 years or so. And like sometimes she be on social media, and she doing regular stuff with her friends.
Like you can't be regular, baby.
Yeah, I'm talking about she going out to eat with her friends and posting, slurping some margaritas with my girls. Then you see somebody in the comments like, "Yo, you still sucking on balls?" or something like that. Like, and then she get upset.
Now you mad? Don't be mad. I got a video of you. I can make it a gift.
Man, and then she goes on these long rants. I say rants, but I kind of feel it. But
she's defending herself.
She's defending herself, but people are not letting her get away from her past, even how bad she wants to. and everything. I mean, like, you see it all the
Yeah.
time. So every once in a while, you'll see something come on the timeline, how she may go on a little rant and how she blocks some people and stuff like that.
You blocking
It's vulgar. It's kind of like flagrant, actually. But
see, it'd have been all right if she was on the VHS, but she's on digital, so it's a wrap.
She's on digital. People can pull it anytime they want to.
You a Google away.
And she's trying to do everything. I think what she's doing now is legit, you know what I mean, and everything. But it's just the fact that people still are putting her in that box. So I say all to say, sometimes our past mistakes, man. Sometimes them things don't ever leave you, you know. So
right.
And that's for men and women.
She's gonna be always on guard because if you come into her life on some genuine shit, she's gonna think that you know what her history is. And like, I just want you to be my fitness coach or whatever her thing is. And like, she's gonna always be on guard. And that's not
she's married now. She's married. She got she got like a daughter like about 5 or 6 years old, and she got a grown daughter too. So I mean, I guess she had the grown daughter back in her former life, but then she got like she's married and everything else. But people still on her neck about what she did like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes it be like that. Well, Jamie, what about you?
No. Kashar, Kwame. Can you handle a friend
dating
your ex? You gotta answer the second part.
Nah, I don't think I can handle it. Well, yeah, nah, I can't handle it.
That's an honest answer.
I was about to say. Part of me wanted to say, like, if it's somebody that's not that close and somebody, you know, we moved on, they have the right to move on, I guess. But like I said, definitely if it's a somebody I have to interact or somebody I consider a close friend, I definitely have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell, I dated people and, you know, some of my own frat brothers dated the girls after I dated them. So, you know, I'm still cool with them. So I guess I could handle it, I guess. So, yeah. I changed a little bit now, yeah. I don't want to name no names, but yeah.
Were you cool? But you weren't cool at the time, though, were you? You had to grow.
Kwame was like, motherfucker.
I was like, damn, you know what I mean? But, you know, I wasn't with the person, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, well, cool, whatever.
It's free will.
So,
growth, my brother.
But there are rules. So my question, can I accept a woman's past reputation? A young Jamie could not. I was a helicopter boyfriend at times. Just with my first girlfriend, was like, where you going? What you doing? Where you going? But as a 43-year-old Jamie was like, man, I'm pretty sure you did some wild shit because I fucking king of that wild shit. So my clear, honest answer is yes, I can accept her past, and I wouldn't be digging. In my opinion, chances are, you know, she didn't do no wild shit like that because she's gonna be smarter than me. She's smart enough to know that. Why would she do that to herself? Like do porn? Why would you do porn willingly? She's college educated. More than likely, she's going to be college educated in the Greek. So those two things don't equate that person doing porn. Not that she can't, but it probably won't.
However,
would you really believe that? So you think somebody who is college educated,
in my brain, we're talking about how stupid I can be. Doesn't make it right. It's just what I believe.
As long as you're psyched out. As long as you're psyched out. You psych yourself.
Don't that make sense?
Okay, well,
it kind of makes sense, but
the chances, like, you know, the chances of me getting bit by a shark right now are pretty unlikely. It could happen. Somebody could bring a shark in here and bite my ass, but right now in this moment, I doubt it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, the chances are she probably didn't, and it's not my business anyway. That's the 43-year-old me reasoning some things. But the young me would have been like, man, fuck that. She can't do nothing. She need to be, man, that's a young, naive way of thinking. Yeah. So the answer is yes, I can accept her past. And
if you don't know about it, though.
Yeah, I don't. But I also know my value. I'm valuable as a person, so my value will bring her up. Yeah. And it's not like her misdeeds will bring my value down. I'm still Jamie all day, every day, and that's a good thing for everybody. That's right. That's still good to be me.
So you could you be a porn star?
I probably could.
Yeah,
I probably could, but not like she just can't be my only girl. I gotta have multiple. I just can't.
No.
She can't be active.
You can't.
The main girl.
I can't be with Kitten. I got to be with Kitten and Empress and all the other people. I got to be with the porn. So I just can't have just one. That's just
I'll ask you something because it's something you touched on, Jamie. Like when you saying that the whole college thing and Greek, whatever. So I know porn stars and stripping ain't the same thing. It's a whole different thing. Even though the lines are very blurry at sometimes.
Right.
But like I said,
still a sex worker though.
But we know, even while we was in school, there was a slew of people who stripped at least, you know.
Renaissance.
Yeah,
Thank you, Little Kim.
That's when it happened, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And these people are college educated. Some may actually be Greek. I'm not sure. I can't remember all of them. So those possibilities are still there, you know what I mean? And
but
I try not to look at it like, well, okay, people do things, you don't know why they do it, you know what I mean? And it might not be the right thing to do at 22, 23, you wouldn't do it 40 something or 30 something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't know what people are going through, so
you don't know what people are going through, and they just might want to get some money and also be encouraged by music. I mean, Little Kim got girls sucking dick. Now you got to understand that it didn't come out of nowhere. They were encouraged to do so. Otherwise,
and pay tuition too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know,
and the perfect excuse was, I'm taking this money to pay my tuition.
Exactly.
Yo,
the Players Club normalized.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it's all about presentation and a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, it's no different than the guy being in college and maybe hustling and selling, drugs on the side to pay for that college tuition. Is that the so quote unquote right thing to do? But people do it, and you're like, okay, well, I kind of understand. I try to look at it a more different way than I did then. You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, well, you don't never know what they had to do. You don't know what their home situation is, and maybe it's what they had to do at that time to pay for their books or pay for tuition. They did it,
don't know.
It did all of a sudden.
Yeah, or just survive, period. You don't
or just survive. I actually just want to eat today.
Exactly.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to go show these titties and get, or I'm going to start this OnlyFans. Y'all familiar with OnlyFans?
Yes.
OnlyFans
came real prevalent during this whole COVID.
High school, but the trade-off is that they're not being touched or prodded. It's just more like just video. You can't live it down, but you still got paid. So I mean, it's a means to an end. However, it's less severe physically. Like, it's not bad on the body. It's just bad on your reputation over time if you're still on there.
Hey, real quick, I remember the first time when I was my freshman year, I was at Central, and I actually saw one of my classmates actually stripping, yo. Like, that jump was like mind blowing to me. Like, like I remember seeing this chick, and I guess because I was caught off guard. This is before the actual Renaissance that I was talking about in '97. Yeah. So this might be like '96, and I remember going to one of the little clubs in Durham. I'm pretty sure.
Brothers 3.
It wasn't even Brothers 3. It was something else. It was
14K.
It wasn't that one either. It was more like downtown by the Loop, whatever. It was like a little off-brand one.
Oh, that's the one we got caught in at night. Yeah. I know she's talking about.
I think the football team used to be there quite a bit.
We got caught by the football coach.
Yeah, so I remember this before I went to Brothers 3 and 14K. And I remember seeing this chick. I'm like, damn. I'm like, it was like mind-boggling to me to see this girl that was in my English class, matter of fact. And now she's on stage and just, doing what she got to do. And I'm looking at her like, I can't believe you in my English class.
I can't believe it's you.
Just before I realized that, like a year later, it'd be the norm for a second. But it was just like.
She was ahead of the curve, dog.
She was ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah.
All right. To finish off my part, can you handle a friend associate dating an ex? My answer is yes. It just has to be removed. She has to be like 2 girlfriends back. Can't be the one I just had. Else we got some shit to talk about. Like, how did this happen? And the friend, I'm gonna have to holler at him like, hey man, I'll holler at you real quick, dog. What the fuck are you doing? Let me tell you what you don't want to do is do this with her. So it would have to be removed, and the friend would have to be out of my circle more than associate, because I know a lot of folk. So he can't be one of my friends like that. But that's just me talking. I can't dictate what people do. So that's the other part. Is like, well, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. There's free will in the world, so she can do what the fuck she want to do, and he certainly can. No telling what they were doing behind my back if it was, they were that close.
And it's easy to say what you would feel or not feel too, because we really don't know until we're in a situation how we want to handle.
That's fair. These are just clear opinions that we have in this moment today.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people say they don't care, they really do care. Most of the time they do care.
Of course you care.
You know, so people are like, I don't care, dog.
Because you're trying to figure
like
out what the fuck, when did this happen? How did it happen? And why didn't I know about it sooner? Because it just didn't start today.
I'm talking about even when a person comes to them like, yo, you know, I'm kind of feeling so and so. I'm letting you know, and you the person is saying like, oh no, I don't care. You know, it don't matter being inside. I think people really care most of the time.
But that's the part about being overly masculine. Because I'd have been like, I do care. That's the part about being honest. I actually do care. So please no. The answer is no. I don't care why you're asking me if you're already going to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think most people be faking, like you said, but I think that people care more than they want to say. I mean, I think it's more safe if you just don't do it, man. That's the rule of law. It's probably just like, yo, my man used to rock with her, and they were dating, and that was his girl. Like, I don't really be trying to even
his girl, and you do him like that. I think she's trying to get back at me.
Yeah, I mean, stuff people care about even just so-called jump-offs. You know what I mean? So let alone
that's true.
Your freaking girlfriend. So a girlfriend.
That pussy be yanking. They probably care.
They care. Trust me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
that nigga care.
Oh,
yeah, man. So anyway, man, just
that cry in the car care.
So we up here, you know, talking about just you know, the reputation thing and kind of related to some of the college, but I also want to talk about was really prevalent, I guess, in most universities is college students drinking. That's the time where, you know, a lot of people just leaving the house for the first time and with no adult supervision. And yeah, some people probably kind of get, you know, in a little bit that junior, senior in high school, but it really takes off from my experience. It's like when you're in college. And a lot of times you just don't, you drink the wrong stuff half the time. You're mixing liquors, you know what I mean? And you're overdoing it because you, I guess, want to be drunk, or you just don't know. You just don't know what exactly you're doing.
What am I missing? What is the thing here? And he's like, you overdo it.
And it's crazy. So, Jamie, is there a particular time or times that like that sticks in your mind about you and drinking, or somebody you know and their drinking experiences while you was at school?
Okay, so I have a master's degree. And my thesis was the extent to which college students participate in drinking games. So my master's degree was during the alcohol research phase we had at Central. So I have a history of that. That's crazy that this is a topic. And I have a plethora of stories to pull from. One where I was drunk as shit and then threw up in my homeboy's car. It was Mike. I threw it all up in his car. And I have one where I was drunk with some Zetas and throwing up green shit the next day. And I got one where I had the king of having the house parties at my crib off Ruby Street. I had people getting car accidents, leaving the crib. I'm not
shot at the door, yo.
I have kids that have been born out of that shit. Like, got drunk at your house and not you pregnant, and here the kid is. It's a person walking this earth because I provided alcohol. I done lost some friends, like literally lost them in the crowd. Like, I don't know where Bobby is. We lost Bobby. We lost Bobby at Carolina. We stuck into an alpha party and just straight lost Bobby. Bobby had to get a ride home from Chapel Hill. We don't know how Bobby made it back.
He was missing.
Bobby was missing. I was the whole time partying like, where's Bobby? Yo, we got to stop partying. Where's Bobby?
Bobby was
but did you stop partying? No,
we didn't stop. I just had the thought in my head like, well, we lost Bobby.
Exactly.
College stories, intoxicated college stories. Probably one where I'll give you a backdrop. Okay, at my house, at my apartment, you had to come in, right? And you had to take your shoes off. That's the first move. I already got you. Take your shoes off.
You're comfortable.
Then you had to take 2 shots at the door.
Yeah, I remember that. You take a shot at the door to get in the party.
You can't come in this house party without taking 2 shots. I don't drink. Well, you got to go.
We don't need you here.
We don't have you. This is not, your kind is not welcome here. You got to drink something. And it ain't going to be no damn Sprite. You got to drink some alcohol. You pick brown or white. And I remember us beating up one of the cappers because he just couldn't stop talking to the brothers. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. It's a prep party. He whipped his ass. It wasn't me. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. And damn, brothers whipped his ass. He done ran and left and got a gun.
Ooh.
Real?
And thank God for Jackie. Jackie, Alpha Lambda 99, talked him off the roof. This nigga ready to shoot his big ass pistol. He had a long ass gun. Happened to look outside. I'm like, what's going on out there? This nigga had a gun in his lap crying.
Hey, was it Kappa from Central or from a different school?
No, he went to Central. Like, just go home. Drove off. Like, this nigga's about to shoot up the grill.
Oh, God. Shout out to Jackie for saving the day.
Shout out to Jackie for saving my life. I all could have been dead. That nigga walking around now, he got his ass whiz out.
He had a gun and was crying. That's crazy.
That's what I'm
big
saying.
ass long pistol. It was like a revolver. I saw this lap like that's a big ass gun.
Hey, yo, that's like crying in the club. Like,
He was crying in the car. He was crying in the car. She sent him on because he was gonna shoot us. He was gonna let us have it.
Yeah. The sad part, he was shot somebody had nothing to do with it. That
He
was
was shot. Somebody had nothing to do with it.
someone was caught astray.
Yep.
Because this nigga is emotional.
Because he emotionally got his ass whipped at the party. We kept telling him, shut up, man. This is not your party. It's a bruh party. And he wasn't even a Kappa yet. He was trying to be a Kappa.
Mm. He later became one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Bless his heart.
Yo, that's funny, man. Hey, Jermaine, what about you, man?
oh man, hey, listen. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all this brief. Well, let me say this first. I didn't start drinking until I got to Central, obviously, but I didn't start drinking until I met Jamie. Jamie may not remember this. This is the first time I had alcohol. Watch this. So Jamie and I used to catch the bus to Northgate Mall, and I think the first time we did it was around the wintertime, first semester. We had all these bags. We were coming back from Northgate. So, you know, the bus let you off up there by the Union. So you cut through the Union, you cut through the football field, you go down the hill.
Yep.
It was snow on the ground. So me and Jamie was going back to the dorm, slid all the way down the hill, bags everywhere.
Scattered
everywhere. So we picked the bags up, go to the dorm. All right. I'm saying that's the first time. The second time, I never forget this. We were coming back. It was nighttime. We cut behind Riddick Stadium, and it was a brown bag on the ground with a red St. Ives, and it wasn't open. I said, Jamie found it. And me and Jamie just drunk it, yo. That's the first time I started drinking in college. Like, we found a beer. Yeah, we found a beer on the ground and we drunk it.
Hey, Jermaine, that wasn't beer. That was malt liquor. It's St. Ives. That's malt liquor. That's even worse.
Hot liquor.
Jamie talked me into drinking it. Like, we found it. It was on the ground, and we just opened it and just started drinking it, right?
So, just know that your boy's a savage. I do some wild shit, like drinking beers off the ground.
That's freaking crazy.
So you see where the trauma's building up? So
yeah. I got him down there, y'all. My bad.
Yeah, you do.
So here's I'm not lying. This is a true story. And the victim of this, if you listening, man, I forgot your name, man, but don't kick my ass when you see me, yo. We went to Brother Street one night. I got so real, man. I got so many drunk stories, yo. Damn. Hey, we went to Brother Street one night. So we got drunk before we went. And when we got in there.
Hey, Jermaine, explain to the people who don't know what Brothers 3 is.
Oh shit. All right. So Brothers 3 was the strip club in the underworld. It was in mid-earth.
It had to be at least that place had to be maybe 500 square feet. We're not exaggerating.
It was probably about the size of a dorm room.
It's that small.
But he had some of the I used to wonder, how did he get them Panamanian and all these types of chicks
exotic
in
women in there.
They came all over the East Coast. They came from all over, from New York to Miami.
Blacktail magazine and all that. So
yeah, it was crazy.
It was a hole in the wall, but he had some nice women in it. So we got it was like 10 of us, man. I can't remember if you guys were with us. I know it was.
If it's the same story I think about it, saying that I was there, but I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
All right. So and maybe I'm merging stories, but I know we got in there and we got ripped, and it was this guy. He was from DC too. It was this short guy from DC.
I was there.
All of us.
We all there.
He just kept
I
doing
remember
it.
that shit.
And he used to walk. He used to be around campus and shit. Anyway, long story short, I don't know what I think he just kept running his mouth and talking, and he ended up riding back with us. And
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was in Kashaw's car.
We was the Charlotte Alton.
Yo, we beat the shit out of that dude.
Who
when
was
we
smacking
got
the hell
back.
out of him.
Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. So
We
to be
drunk.
clear,
We drunk beat the shit out of him. I don't even know if that means something.
no, the guy was so drunk that he wouldn't wake up and get out of Kashar's car. We parked in front of the dorm.
Right in front.
And he was like a
of them.
magnet in the seat. He just would not move. He was so strong, but he was probably be like 4 feet tall. He was a good
Yeah, he
wrestler
was
in high
short.
school, from what I remember.
Mhm.
But that little motherfucker would not move out of the car. He would not wake up. We couldn't get him out. He couldn't be no taller than, nothing. But we could not
Listen.
get him out of the car.
Yo,
They called the police.
we was hitting your boy. It sounded like a bass drum. We was hitting
We
him
were
in the
whipping
back,
his ass.
the chest.
He was not moving though. It was like
Face.
Yo, we was
pow.
hitting him
He
in
was
the
just like
thighs.
it didn't happen to him. Pow.
You know how Rick James, when he on Dave Chappelle's show, when he got mud on the couch and Eddie Murphy beat him up? We did your boy like that times 5.
And he just would not. He still wouldn't get out of the car. I don't know how.
He
He
still
got, I
wouldn't.
think
And I know
campus
he
police got him out.
Yeah, he had to feel the next day. I feel
Yo,
kind of bad about it, but he went. It was funny though. We was laughing. Yeah, that joke was
Yo,
crazy.
man. I got another one too, but we can go on and on about this. But I got one on all y'all too. A couple drunk stories on all y'all.
I stayed drunk.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, didn't you fall asleep outside the dorm one night?
Yup.
I did.
Yes.
Slept outside for 24 all night. You slept outside.
That was my story. Yes.
Go ahead, Kashar, tell it then.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
Y'all let the
I don't know
dog
where
tell it. I'll
we
let
was.
the dog tell it.
We
It
was
was
coming
me,
from
you,
somewhere.
and Jermaine all together.
Yeah,
I think.
we was.
I think that was the night I was telling you I threw up in my man's car.
It
I don't
might
know,
have
you was
been,
outside.
but
I don't know how you got
I
there.
No,
we-
because Kwame wasn't there.
No, we was not there when you got drunk, but we found you.
We found you.
We
in
found
of
you
the-
outside,
We found
sleep
you
outside.
on the sidewalk.
From the Chitley.
Right.
On the main entrance of Chile. You was laying in the grass.
Yes.
Then that's the
Damn,
time.
me?
Yes.
Stretched out,
How
yo.
y'all didn't tell me this?
Stretched out.
We brought you the room. Go ahead,
Go
ahead,
Can I
Kashar.
show it?
You had the
Can I
what?
show it?
Yeah. What?
I need Jamie's permission. Can I show it? I have
Oh, hell,
evidence.
you got a picture?
Yes.
Well, let us see.
Damn.
Yo, Kashar has
From
everything.
97? Hold on. I can't see.
Yo.
Where was
Damn.
I at?
You in
We
your,
had to
you in
drag
your room.
you. We
Oh,
dragged you
terrible.
to your room. Can you see it? We dragged you to your room. We had to get you out your clothes because you had.
Epic. Look
Yo.
at P.
I have a close up too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nigga look terminally ill. Yo.
Hey, Kashar, you know what's so funny? Because we was walking up to the we're like, damn, somebody's drunk over there. And we did like a double take, like, damn, that's Jamie. You was laying on the grass. And,
Oh, my God.
and all of a sudden, we became your parents. We were just like, oh my God, who did this to him? Who was he with?
Oh,
like, yo, who left him like this?
man.
Shit.
He was outside. That was crazy.
I'm ashamed.
Hey, hold up. Let me just intervene. Kwame, it happened to you too now.
Yo.
He's damn sure happened to Kwame.
Hey, yo, Courtney called me like 3 a.m. She was like mildly crying. Like she was like, Jermaine, whoever NC State and somebody left Kwame out on the ground and I don't know how he got here and he's drunk. I said, well, ain't nothing I can do. I'm in the dorm. Yo, I don't know how they got you back to the dorm. Who was that? Who helped me get you to the room?
Me?
Yeah, Kasharo.
Yeah.
Man, we had to we had to take your Timbs off, took your contacts out, and put them on the dresser. He was squirting the contact stuff all on the dress. He won't even hit the contact.
Yeah, that gym was crazy, yo.
Yo, you was lit. Yo, yeah, it was Kashara. We had to take you upstairs, man, take your Timbs off and tuck you in, man. And
Yeah, I was gone, man.
yo, you
Needless
was
to say,
gone,
we are all very, very close.
but somebody left you at the somebody left you at state on the they left you. I don't know who it
No,
was.
what happened was I do remember vaguely, like it was a party at state. But I went with Kashara on there, but then I think Tyler did Courtney and her friends, they was up there. And I remember being a freaking damn lover boy talking about, yeah, I want to chill with her. and somehow I didn't. Y'all went on. I might tell
we
y'all.
left, we came back. Yeah, you said you wanted to stay.
Go without me. I'm gonna.
Yeah, and I was just laying in the parking lot. All of a sudden, I know I was in the car with her, and we was at Miami Sub somewhere in Raleigh. And then I know I was back at Central, but that's when she must have called you. Yeah, I was at that joint. I was throwing up all the place.
Yeah, you was throwing up. Yeah, you was gone. You was done, yo.
It was horrible, man.
And I think was it Kashara one night? We had the Ultima. We were going to Raleigh. Somebody threw up in the car while we were on the interstate. Like we couldn't escape it anyway.
It was Kashara.
Okay.
Kashara throwing up.
One of y'all was driving. I don't know if it was Jamie or Jermaine.
I was always the Desi. It was Kashara. I'm driving on 40. He just started earling in the car like you could not escape.
Yeah, the paper bag. He was throwing the paper bag in the back seat. Oh, that joint was crazy.
A paper bag and not a plastic bag?
Yeah, they got a paper bag. I don't know where he got that from, but it was a paper bag he was throwing up in.
I think it was from the hurricane or something we was drinking.
Wait, look. Wait. I just thought about it. Y'all remember that night we went to the power company?
Yep.
We were ripped, and we were looking for Kasharo, and we didn't know they put him out. They put you out the club because you couldn't be drunk in the club.
You was drunk going in the club. You got to get drunk in the club.
No.
Yo, he
was in the club for 10 minutes, man. He was in the club for 10 minutes when it happened because I remember I was on the dance floor, and I heard some girls like, "Hey, Kwame, they kicked your show out the club." I'm like, "What? We just got in here." Like we literally was in like 10 minutes. So then I like, damn, we just got in the club. The junk was, I mean, it was off gate. It was already, freaking popping. You know what I'm saying?
It was the end of the year party.
I don't remember what kind of party it was, but I know that junk was already rocking. I was not in there for 10 minutes. I was like, damn, I have to go get him now.
Yeah,
then by the time I walked in there, he was on the curb like a homeless man up there. He was like bent over. He had like throw up on his lips and everything. I was like, it was crazy.
But Quan, when I saw him in the club, he was like this in the club.
That's all it takes.
He was sitting like he was at a desk somewhere, huh? Like
with all that noise going on, he was in the club. Yo,
you got to go. You got to go. Get him up out of here.
Yo, man. Yeah, but even the craziest part about it, I don't recommend it to anybody, especially drinking and driving. Yo, like that one night, I am driving back after I got him in the car. I did not know how I made it back to the dorm. Like I can't even tell you to this day. Like
that's called alpha state.
I've done that too.
Body
crazy.
Yeah,
I've done that
like
too.
I could have easily done killed all of us on that one because I don't even know how I made it, man. So I'm not promoting drinking,
not glorifying it.
But yeah, that junk was freaking nuts, man. I was like, I should have chilled that night.
Damn.
Too. But yeah, man, it was some crazy times, man. Anybody else got anything they want to share about any more stories?
I shared, like I had the Jamie. I
didn't know niggas had damn pictures of the shit.
I had pictures of everything.
Yeah, he does.
I didn't get photos either.
Shabo has a record of he be remembering dates, who was here. Like he got all that, man. He got all that, yo.
Goddamn.
That's all good. Jamie, I tell you.
All right. Well, listen, fellas, it's about that time again. And
what time? What you talking about?
What time is it?
For you want to help me out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody won't tell me. It's time for what?
It's time for what?
Dopeness.
That's right. I get tongue tied when we say it. I wanted you all to help me out.
Oh, shit. Dose of dopeness, dog. The D.O.P.E.
All right. So this week's dose of dopeness. Drum roll. There you go. All right. So this week's dose of dopeness is given to an artist by the name of Preference Evans. And yes, her first name is legally Preference. Yes. She's actually an NCCU Eagle, and she is an awesome artist. Let me just give you some rundown about her. The name of her business, her company is called Art by Preference, and it focuses on helping individuals from a range of backgrounds to clearly understand ways that art connects to everyday life. And this is just she's not your ordinary artist. She's her company provides a plethora of services She does one-on-one virtual lessons, art lessons, coaching art lessons. She has classes, building tutorials. She does workshops, private, public workshops. All this is done in a professional setting, by the way. Also, Art by Preference offers a variety of products, websites. She even constructs websites, acrylic painting, portraits, calligraphy, lettering, and she also does custom home decor as well.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Preference
Yeah,
in here.
yeah. Shipping is available for most items, while exclusive items are reserved for pickup in Tarboro, North Carolina. Um, and let me say this as well. She's definitely credible. She actually taught art at the Ohio State University for a little while, before coming
That's
back,
wild.
yeah, to the East and starting her own business. Um, Definitely support the young lady. I'm going to give you all some contacts. She's awesome. She's very bright, very smart young lady. And her social media info is I'm sorry, yeah, at Art by Preference, and this is across the board. IG, um, well, she's more active on
Facebook,
Facebook. She's more active on Facebook.
Twitter, the Twitter.
Yeah. Um, she's more active on Facebook than anything else, but Art by Preference is where you can actually check her out, check out the links. She has mass samples of her work. Um, she's actually helping me with the book that I'm finishing now with the cover. Um, and she gave me some ideas last year about this book. But she's awesome, man. Like I said, she's just an awesome person. Art is her it's her
Passion.
gift, it's her calling, it's her passion. Check her out. Yeah, so Art by Preference is the company. Her name is Preference Evans, and she's awesome. And again, her contact is Art by Preference, and that's pretty much across the board.
That's what's up. I remember Preference
Word
from
up.
school.
Shout
I
out to
remember she was heavy
Preference.
into the art when we was in school. Like, once she in like the photo,
She's art major, yeah, of course.
yeah, art major. She was in
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So she's doing some great stuff, some good stuff work with her work, and we gotta support her. We gotta
Okay.
support her. Check her out.
Shout out to our Eagles, Eagle alone.
Shout
Definitely,
out.
Shout out to
shout out,
Preference.
no doubt.
Okay. Well, before we go, I want to give out the mental health information to those who may need it, or you may need it at some point. You never know, or you may need it for someone you may know. It's called the Mental Health of America Hotline, and what they do, they provide mental health services all over the country. So what you would do, you just call the number, tell them your location, and they will direct you to the nearest community support, in your area. The number for the Mental Health of America is 1-800-969-6642. Again, Mental Health of America, 1-800-969-6642. And their website is mhanational.org. M as in Mary, H as in Henry, A as in Apple, national.org.
Got it. That's good information.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Another great
Real.
episode, guys. If you want to
Yeah.
follow us on the internet, hit us up at 4x Dope Podcast. That's 4X Dope Podcast. On YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Mi Gente, and whitefolkmeat.com and farmersonly.com too. Honest there.
Yes. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments about this show or any other show, you can email us at 4timesdopepodcast@gmail.com.
Bet. Hey y'all, just got some good news. We got our first order. I just saw it on my phone for the hoodie. Somebody ordered the 3X. So we out here, dog. We out here in the street. We got fans.
All right, let's
No
go.
doubt.
Yo, keep it up, y'all.
Yo, buy some
Get that
merchandise,
merch.
then, yo.
Yeah, shop s2c.com. You see
Right.
the two great models up there. Yeah. Buy all that stuff up.
Yeah,
All right.
free as well. You can take you directly to the website to buy the merch.
Yeah, go to the website, hit up the link tree. We good, dog. We ready. We got all the things covered. Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Until the next time, fellas.
Next time.
Next time, fellas. Peace.